So we're finally starting to get some of the more interesting content. This is my game with Eric Goldstein. I feel like the games with some of the top players. This is one of the top players, by the way. This guy, he's not, he's not a pushover. Um, he's definitely a really nice guy, and so maybe his friendliness can make you feel um, deceptively too comfortable or something like that. But anyway, he's vicious over the board and friendly in demeanor, but vicious over the board is probably a good way of describing him. I don't know too much about the guy. He's from completely different, coast. He's from New York. Um, I think he's like some sort of Scrabble coach to and mentor to the younger kids. I know on the East Coast there they've got a healthy youth Scrabble youth thing going, and every year it's in the Scrabble Youth Championship is in Washington D.C. and I don't think they realize how unfair it is to have that exclusively in Washington D.C. rather than in other parts of the country. That's probably one of my biggest problems with Scrabble right now is what's going on with the youth, and just they seem to be okay in the Scrabble community with just having it there in the East Coast. That kind of always bugs me. I mean, how is Scrabble going to have a future if it's always going to be in the East Coast? Give me a moment. This game in particular, I don't think it's going to be very interesting because I just get destroyed. I don't know if this game was winnable or not. I'm not sure I'd automatically say it's unwinnable, especially since I haven't really reviewed it. This game was kind of traumatically bad for me and in such a way that I had trouble kind of recovering from how badly I played in this game. But we'll take a look at it. But you can see that Eric Goldstein is the real deal. Um, I don't know if you guys have seen some of his on-stream games, but he plays very well. He opens with Earwig. I've got a pretty decent racket, and I'm sure it doesn't bingo on this board, but I think it probably has, maybe with the right. No, there wasn't even any eights. It looked like there might be something if I had the right letter, but I guess there wasn't even that. I went with wipe here. Obviously, I'm not going to play this. That's just blocking off the top left quadrant of the board. That's not good at all, and it's creating an X bomb spot. This can't be the right play. This has the same problem. Same problem. You know what? This is the beginning of the game. Might be a good one to break out Macondo for. Let's do it. Where's Macondo at? Because all of those plays are obviously not good. See if I remember how to do this. I forget. How do you set the player names? Apparently, they just completely ignore the last name. I guess that's fine. All How do I make a play again? It's been such a long time since I've used this thing. Commit. Is it just commit? I don't know if this is right. I have to set the rack first. How do I set the rack? See, I completely forgot how to use this stupid program. So I have to write rack. Earwig. I don't know why I have to put the number sign there. This is one, I mean, this game went south fairly quickly, so I don't feel it's too terrible to go all in analyzing the first few moves of this game. So how do I do a sim here? All right, I'm gonna let this run. Okay, the more I look at this, the more defensible I think wipe is. All of these plays, they create an X bomb, or they're like things like epoch, keeping IIR, IIPR. I mean, these can't be right. I played wipe. Hair is, I think, a reasonable leave. I think this is actually probably the best play, at least the best play that also aligns with the style of keeping the board open. I like this play of wipe. The more I've been looking over these moves, the more I feel convinced. How do I end sim? How do I stop the sim? I thought I said stop, and now it just keeps going. Stop not found. Sim stop. Okay. So what does it say it likes here? It likes high best for 20 at 9G. So it likes this play. Okay, well, I mean, it does. Okay, I understand this play because the leave of AE IPR is actually a fairly good leave, and it creates that hook for phi. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. So I do like that play better than wipe. Let's see here. I'm just curious how good this leave is. I think it's going to be like 7 or something. Maybe not 7. It is 7. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is an excellent play. I should have considered that play and made it after I'd found it. That play should be perfectly findable. He actually did have the X, so a lot of the plays that created an X bomb would have not worked out. He plays Ox. I was gonna set the rack, but it already contains the rack and the letters I need. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so this is what I'm talking about, where I say it was an unwinnable game. The more I think wipe. I lost the game after wipe. If I had made the play high, if I would have kept, let's say if I played high, I had AEIPR, I kept, let's say I got another I and an R. No, that wouldn't have fought. What if I got like an I and a V? No, that wouldn't have gotten me anything. R and a V maybe. No. Yes, but I did draw fairly bad. So even with that great leave, with some of the draws I would have gotten, I wouldn't have gotten any bingo. But my actual rack was this. I went with Arrive here. I just I could feel the game was already slipping away, and once when I'm down like 50 points, like I am, and it's only like move two, um, I'll make a play like Arrive just to open up the board because if he closes down the board, which is what he's going to do with a 50-point leave, there's going to be no hope. I think Arrive's probably fine. There's a chance that there is some like brilliant play that I could have made that was better than Arrive, but you can only expect so much from 1600 player. I'm not going to analyze that one. I'm already at 11 minutes. Let's take a look. I think the general idea behind Arrive is a good one, and I just had an unfortunate game here. When does this game become unwinnable is a good question, and it's not unwinnable yet, but it's certainly getting really unlikely that I'm going to win the game. Let's see. I decided to go with. Okay, so here I wrote down my rack wrong. Because it says I have an N. I wrote down Shy Joe's. Oh, actually, that's an N. That just looks like an H. I got it. So this was my actual rack. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of times when you have two S's, it's tempting to keep both of them. I think this is a case where Joe's would have been better. The extra S doesn't really help here, I don't think. I don't think Joins is the right play. I don't think Joe is the right play, but I think this one is Joe's here. I think getting rid of an S actually makes it a lot more likely that I will bingo. So yeah, I think I might have just missed this play. I think if I would have seen this, I would have said yes, this is the play. INS is just such a I think it's a superior leave to INSS, or at least superior to EOSS. It's actually 11. That's higher than I thought. All right. Well, it's saying that they're about the same. I think EOSS is far inferior to INS. There are 5 ends left in the bag, so there's a chance that I could double my ends if I keep an end. But anyway, Gin was my play. I guess part of the thinking behind Gin was I was hoping to maybe bingo from the J and some kind of miracle bingo. That actually comes into play later in this game. What does he do? He plays party for 25. So he made the top play, I'm sure. And that's what happens when you play a 1800 player. If they get good tiles, you're just probably going to lose because they're often going to find the best play in at least 80% of the moves of the game. Let's see. I made play of Glow here. I don't know if that's where I played Glow though. Yeah, I did play Glow there. I was kind of desperate. I wanted to keep lanes open. Yeah, that can't be right. This one probably is right though. This scores 13 more and doesn't really open anything up. The downside obviously is that GOS is kind of a terrible leave. Especially you're getting rid of both my E's. You usually need E's to get a decent shot at bingoing. But still, I think it's worth the 13 extra points. Anyway, I went with Glow. This is a fairly good leave. I'm going to say it's going to be like 12, maybe 10. Okay. Not as good as I had hoped. He plays waved. That's the other downside of Glow, is that it's giving him an easy big play where I probably didn't need to do that. All right, hold on. I did draw a blank, but it came with 2 EUs. I drew UU blank. And then I played Hugh for 20, which is probably the right play. But I'm really kind of and especially because he's going to bingo right here again. So there was just, this is the point where so he bingos with a blank with playing laminate. And here I just felt like, okay, I'm down 200 points. I wasn't really caring too much about spread because I knew, even though I knew after this game I'm going to be 2-6. So if I just play a bingo, like a normal bingo, yeah, if I just play a normal bingo somewhere, then the game is pretty much lost after he plays laminate because I'm down 191 points, and 150 points is recoverable, but not like 190. But there was like an outside chance because I wrote down on my sheet jaunters. I didn't know if it was good or not. And I felt like if I played it and it was good, I was actually like 25% sure it was good. I didn't like it, but 25% was still enough for me to play it. And like, if I play it and it's good, I might have an outside shot to winning this game if I can get another big play after winning a free turn. I guess that was my conclusion. After this game, I'm likely to be, what it would be 5-2. So 5-2 just wasn't gonna be. The end result of this tournament was still not likely that I was gonna win prize money, even starting out 5-2. I kind of knew that in the back of my head. So I felt like my focus, I really decided before this tournament even started that my focus was not going to be at all about spread. If it was about spread, I would have just played a normal bingo. But because I wanted to really focus on winning games, that's why I made this phony of play of jaunters. At the time, he challenged it off. At the time, I was really burned by this. What happened here? Did I accidentally hit pass? That might have been what I did it. Oh, okay. For some reason, something got mixed up. Let me see if I can fix it. See if this fixes it. Okay. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I don't need to go over the rest of this game. It's just going to be painful. It was painful for me to play out the rest of this game after I lost a turn when I'm already down 190 points. Um, Games like this are going to be painful. I don't think I made the wrong decision actually to to go for it with Jaunters. I think it's actually a fairly decent phony. He didn't challenge it instantly. He held it for, it wasn't very long, at most a minute. Yeah, we're at 21 minutes. This has been a long video. Any final thoughts? 1800 players, like if you're not used to playing like 1800, 1900, 2000, there isn't a really big difference between 1800 and 2000. Obviously 2000 is going to be a little bit better, but I feel like once you get to 1800, you've kind of made it in Scrabble. Even if you don't have like the expert title, they're kind of stingy on giving away titles in NASPA. I think they should probably be a little bit looser. If you made it to 1800, you're basically an expert in my book. Okay, that's all I got. I'm not going to finish doing the rest of this game. It's not going to be very useful for you guys to learn, and definitely not useful for me. But if you have any thoughts about Eric Goldstein, 1800 players, any general tips for playing them, give me put your thoughts down below. This was pretty much an unwinnable game, I think, after reviewing it. I'd at least categorize at least 4 of the games that I played in this tournament as unwinnable. Alright guys, thanks, and catch you later.